According to a recent Gallup poll, Americans plan to spend an average of $900 to $1,000 on gifts this season. As the largest gift-giving holiday, the final months of the year account for nearly 20% of total annual retail sales for retailers, making it the costliest season of the year for shoppers. This is not surprising. What is surprising is how much more money we spend during this season than any other. For context, shoppers spend over $900 billion during the Christmas season last year. The next highest seasonal total was the back-to-school shopping season, and that was $100 billion. In other words, on average, Americans spend 9 times the amount of money shopping during the Christmas season than any other season of the year. Unfortunately, however, when the calendar turns to January, the negative effects of this spending begin to set in. Higher than expected credit card statements, tighter finances than imagined, increased stress, and regret over the amount of money we spent. So how can we avoid this January regret? What steps can we take to avoid overspending during the holiday season? Here are 7 ideas to avoid overspending. Number 1, set a budget. Before the holiday shopping season even begins, decide how much money you want to spend. Maybe spending $1,000 sounds crazy to you, but I can tell you the numbers and expenses add up quickly when we don't stop to think them through. Think through all the different aspects of holiday shopping: gifts, travel, food, decorations, events. Divide your budget into 3 different categories. How much do you desire to spend on gifts? How much will travel cost? And how much are you going to spend on parties and special events? If the numbers aren't lining up to your current finances, what changes or sacrifices do you need to make? Number 2, to avoid overspending, we need to be aware of retail tricks. If merely creating a budget was the only thing needed to keep us within our spending limits, we'd be all set, not just for the holidays, but for life. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case. Even with budgets firmly established, many of us will overspend. And one reason this happens is because retail stores are shockingly good at getting us to part with our money. Loyalty cards, retail credit, return policies, decoy pricing, artificial scarcity, incentives to return to the store, targeted ads, and constant sales. All of these represent tricks that retail outlets employ specifically to get us to part with our money. So be on the lookout for them and know what they are, especially during the holiday season. A third way to limit overspending is to limit self-gifting. One of the most significant holiday trends over recent years is the increase in self-gifting. People treating themselves to presents when they're out shopping for others. In fact, nearly 60% of people are now self-gifting, according to the National Retail Federation. We will spend, on average, almost $200 buying gifts for ourselves. To avoid overspending this holiday season, limit yourself specifically in this regard. As an added note on this, be extra careful when purchasing gift cards for other people. Did you know that 72% of shoppers also do some shopping for themselves when they go to a store or a website to purchase a gift card? Number 4, cut down on convenience costs during the season. Some of the most hidden costs of the holiday season are convenience expenses. The holiday season throws us out of our usual rhythms by adding extra responsibilities and activities, and as a result, the price we are willing to pay for convenience begins to rise. Sometimes it's just easier to order fast food when running late for an appointment, or getting pizza for the kids when we need to attend the holiday office party. In addition, all of the time spent shopping often leads to other unnecessary purchases, expensive coffee, drinks, pretzels, smoothies, just to name a few. These expenses appear minor, but over the course of a month, they add up pretty quick. A fifth way to limit our overspending during the holidays is to establish expectations early. If you decide to cut down on the number of Christmas gifts you will be giving this season, it's important to establish those expectations early. For example, for our kids at Christmas, they receive 3 gifts from us: one thing they want, one thing they need, and one experience to share with the family. But that wasn't always the case. When they were younger, before we decided to pursue minimalism, we used to buy them a lot more gifts at Christmas. Therefore, when we decided to make the changes to our gift-giving habits, we took some time to tell them about it. Similarly, if you intend to take a new gift-giving approach to your extended family, it's helpful to inform them early about your decision and why you decided to make it. Another way to avoid overspending during the holidays is to look for shortcuts to make travel cheaper. For some families, one of the largest expenses of the holiday season is travel. This is certainly true for our family of 4 as we travel back to the Midwest every Christmas. Being together as a family to celebrate the season is important, and it's important to many others of you as well. While there are always going to be expenses incurred while traveling, we can still look for ways to limit them. We can shop around airlines and travel dates. We can avoid baggage fees by packing light. We can pack meals for on the go. We can do research on hotel costs, just to name a few. And the last point I'll mention is number 7. Track spending during this season. One key component to wise financial stewardship is to track your spending on a daily basis. This is true for life, but it is absolutely essential to avoid overspending during the holiday season. If you've set up your budget thoughtfully, like I mentioned in tip number 1, it's important to pursue diligence in staying inside it. Because of the extra shopping during the season, the importance of tracking your spending during the month of December is even more important. And you don't need fancy software or materials to accomplish this step. It can be completed with a simple piece of paper and a pen. At the end of each day, just record the items you spent money on and how much you spent, and compare it regularly with the budget that you set up. Avoiding overspending during the holiday season might not be easy. It certainly requires extra time and effort. But trust me, your January you will thank you for it. If this message today felt like a conversation you needed, please share, like, or comment on this video. Your interaction helps spread the inspiration so that others can benefit as well. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel. That's the best way to keep seeing these videos every week.